This podcast contains spoilers to some of your favorite cheesy holiday movies. As if you don't already know that Christmas is saved and they live happily ever after. Because magic or Christmas spirit or some shit. Season's greetings! I'm Ashley.
And I'm Dustin.
Welcome to the Hokey Holiday Review, a podcast where we judge cheesy holiday movies, and let's be honest, this first movie isn't really about Christmas romance.
Not at all.
Not at all. Our first movie is called Holiday in the Wild, which can be viewed on Netflix, starring Rob Lowe and Kristen Davis, directed by Ernie Barbarash, written by Neil H. Dabrowski and Tippy Dabrowski.
And we're going to preface this episode with the fact that this movie actually has nothing to do with Christmas, like we said a second ago. This whole movie could probably stand on its own without implementing Christmas, but they threw a good 5 minutes or so of Christmas in there.
And then they had the audacity to call it a holiday movie. Goodbye.
So the Netflix synopsis for this movie is: when her husband abruptly ends their marriage, empty nester Kate embarks on a solo second honeymoon in Africa, finding purpose and potential romance.
Ooh. So to expand a little bit on that Netflix synopsis that they gave us, having seen the movie, Kate's husband leaves her. She goes on the second honeymoon that she had planned for them to Africa, where she meets Derek, who is the pilot of the airplane safari that she had booked. So while on this safari, she goes on the safari with Derek, they come across a baby elephant who really needs some help. So they rescue the elephant, take it back to a local rescue/orphanage for elephants, where coincidentally, Derek also works there in some capacity. And then Kate really falls in love with working with the elephants and whatnot. So she ends up staying longer than what she originally planned, which I think was like 2 weeks. And after, I think like a couple of months or something, she goes back to New York to go back to the life that she, has had. And she starts practicing veterinary again. And something just still isn't quite right. So she learns that the orphanage is now in financial distress, and she gets all of her rich New York friends and her ex-husband to donate money to save this orphanage. And it works, but then in the process, she realizes where she really wants to be. She goes back to live there permanently, and her and Derek get married, live happily ever after, caring for the elephants. And that's basically what happened. And if you will notice, there was really nothing about Christmas in there. So, still amazed that this is a Christmas movie.
I mean, what says Christmas more than elephants? Right? No?
Right, yeah. We'll go with that. Now, there are some things about this movie that we want to talk about.
It's far from a perfect film.
But it is like your typical hokey, cheesy, goofy holiday movie, where the holiday magic saves everything in the end. So, one of the first things at the beginning of the movie is that they are taking, Kate and her husband and their son are taking a Christmas photo before their son goes to college. So it's definitely August. But when they take the pictures that get developed later that Kate sees, they're pictures of them getting their pictures taken.
Well, I remember I had a fan theory about this. I feel like there should be a deleted scene where Kate's stalker sends an
Yeah.
It looks like stalker photos.
It
like
does.
Somebody was like hiding in like the cabinets or something.
Yeah, it does. It really does look like that, actually.
I just, in my world, there's a deleted scene where Kate gets an email from like a mysterious email address, and it's like, I've been watching you.
It's really weird. It's so weird. Like they didn't get prints of. She didn't get prints of her and her family like actually looking at the camera, like the actual like Christmas picture itself. It's literally just snapshots of them looking at a different camera for their pictures, which is so weird.
It's a small detail, but it's
weird.
But when you add them all up, it's funny.
Yeah. And it's something that I found really interesting, and I think that this just comes from sort of the class that I'm in. You know, like we're kind of like middle class people. So Kate, when she's having lunch with her friends, they refer to each other and themselves as ladies who lunch, which she hates. Because I guess she doesn't feel like she wants more out of life than being like a lady who lunches. Because I guess none of them have jobs. Like they all rely on their like rich husbands to like get through life. And maybe it's just like my class in life, but I would love to be a lady who lunches.
Yeah, it's our poor cynicism. We're like, oh, I wish I could just eat lunch and just do nothing. And
like I know they say money doesn't buy happiness.
It buys lunch every day.
But it
and food is the gateway to the heart.
I mean, food is the gateway to my heart for real. But I guess it's just like when I saw that, I was like, dude, I would love to have zero responsibilities and just be responsible for meeting my friends for lunch every day. Okay, so I also want to just talk about like how her husband leaves her.
It's the strangest breakup I've ever seen on screen. I think.
Yeah.
Or one of them. It's so strange that the kid leaves to go to college. He's like, all right, I'm out, going to college. His girlfriend, I guess that's his girlfriend. They don't really establish that.
Yeah, I'm assuming.
Is going to drive him to school, and he like walks out the door, and she's like, hey, I think we should do this trip to Africa as like a second honeymoon. And he's like, yeah, I'm not happy. You're not happy either. And she just like doesn't say anything. He's like, I'm leaving. I'm gonna go stay at so and so's house.
Yeah, first of all, don't tell her what she is or isn't. You know what I mean? He's like, you're not happy either. I mean, I guess he asks her. He's like, are you happy? And like she had trouble answering it, but like,
yeah,
don't just assume that she's
but
unhappy.
The whole breakup lasted a good, minute and a half, minute 45.
Yeah, if that. Like, the son walks out the door. As soon as the door closes, the husband's like, yeah, I wanted to wait until he left because I didn't want to upset him. Dude, like, bro is still, like, only halfway down the hallway. Like, he's not even gone yet. Dude, he wasted no time. No time at all.
Not at all. It's pretty entertaining. I bet that he goes down the elevator or whatever, and the kid is like still standing like by the front door. It's like, Dad, what are you doing here? Oh, I just left your mom.
Didn't want to tell you before you left.
And he'd be like, what happened while I was gone? I leave for 2 minutes.
It was really weird. It was definitely really weird. Like, door closed, all of a sudden he's like, yeah, I'm leaving you. And it was just, and that was that. Like, that there was no other discussion, like, or anything. It was really weird. Oh, after he leaves, she, like, packs up, remember she packs up all this stuff? Like, she has her moment, and then she's like, fuck this. She, like, throws all of his stuff in, like, garbage bags and just drops it on the streets of New York City.
Yeah, she put, like, a free sign on it.
Yeah,
and the door guy's
savage.
Looking at it like, what?
Fucking savage. Good for you, Kate.
Yeah, and it looked like probably thousands upon thousands of dollars worth of, like, nice suits and...
I'm sure. They had a whole ass walk-in closet.
Yeah.
So, at this point... this is still kind of like just sort of the beginning of the movie. The only Christmas element is that they are taking their family Christmas portrait in August. So anyway, she goes on this honeymoon to Africa alone, and God love her, like it must have been like a honeymoon suite or something. It had like the swan, like the towels folded in the shape of like swans where they make a heart, and there's like
rose petals on the bed.
Yeah,
the
rose petals. She gets there, she looks around, she's like, ah, shit. And then she pops the bottle of champagne and just drinks it out the bottle. Get it, Kate. Get it. That is what I would do.
Yep.
That is what I would do.
And then good old Derek, making a great first impression. He just walks into the bar and just starts talking to her and just judging her right away.
Yeah, a little bit. He was. He's like, "You're from LA?" And she's like, "No." Although to me, like, I feel like she looks more like she's from New York City, but
yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, and but he said that he guessed that she was from LA or New York City because she looks quote unquote put together. And I'm like, okay, I may be from the Midwest, but like I can look put together too. Do I normally? No. But that's besides the point. Can I? So like, can the rest of America not look put together?
No, we can't. We're just a bunch of savages right in the middle.
Another fun thing here is that at the beginning when Derek, like we see Derek in the plane that he flies, the plane's name is Kirk, after Captain Kirk in Star Trek. But then later in the movie, when he falls in love with Kate, he changes the name on his plane to Kate. Oh my god. And then, okay, so when she ends up staying and she doesn't go home, remember, at first she goes into the wrong tent, and a very shirtless Rob Lowe comes in, and he's like, "This is my tent, yours is over there, bye." Like, that's basically, like, he was, like, kind of mean about it. He's like, "This is my tent, yours is over there." And she's like, "They said the tent on the end," and he's like, "Yeah, the other end," as if she's, like, a fucking moron. And it's like, bitch, she just got there. She doesn't know where the fuck she's going. There's obviously two ends. You don't have to be rude about it. And then he calls her New York. And, like, maybe that grinds my gears a little bit.
Yeah,
but nobody else's.
You take it very,
She has a name!
Yeah, but it's just a cute little name he gave her. He just always calls her that.
Okay, but it was totally meant to be condescending.
It was, but I think it turned into, like, a loving sort of thing. It happens. I don't know. Like, the shirtless thing is pretty funny. It's, like, so classic, like, love story where they don't like each other at first sort of thing. And she's like, oh my god.
Yeah. All right, whatever.
Yeah.
And I like how one of the dinners that she has with the people at the rescue and orphanage, she says, "Women, just like elephants, always remember."
They do. I mean, you don't. You don't. I tell you things all the time, and you don't remember them.
But you know what? I do always remember. Every single time.
Every mistake I make.
You're mean to me.
Yeah.
I never forget that. So there is a point where the two lovebirds from different worlds are, they're finally into each other. So they tend to walk around together at the camp because he says it's not safe. I guess something about, like, baboons getting into their tents. They have, like, a watchtower that watches for lions and stuff like that. So...
Yeah.
So they tend to, like, walk around together, and they pass his tent, and he's like, "Oh, do you want to come in?" And she goes, "I've already seen your tent." and Derek says, "I think you're looking at more than a tent."
Ooh, saucy.
Ooh, what does that mean? That dick? I think you're looking at more than a tent. You want to see what's inside the tent? In my pants.
Yeah, really. Oh, the dialogue isn't always the best.
Yeah, I mean the one-liners are great though. Yeah. "I've already seen your tent. I think you're looking at more than a tent, baby." Okay, he didn't say the baby part.
I wish he did.
But it's that cheesy. But so she looks through the telescope at the stars, and it's kind of like a romantic thing, and then they kiss. They kiss, and we're like, "Oh my god, this is the first time that they kiss. They're gonna end up happily ever after." And then...
Bum, 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 bum.
This British hoe. I'm not saying that all British people are hoes, not at all. But, like, she's British, and she is, like, nasty.
I think she's South African. I don't think she's British.
Oh, we did talk about that.
Yeah.
I think you're right. She is.
I mean, it's a similar accent, and then, like,
right.
There's some references to, like, him flying down to the Foundation or whatever, so I think they mentioned it was in South Africa.
No, I think you're right. I hear one accent and I just appropriate it or misappropriate it, I guess you could say. So she enters. I totally forgot her name because it's not important. She's not important. So she's this like blonde-haired, blue-eyed. She's pretty, but she's definitely like mean. And so she she enters the tent, doesn't knock. I don't know how you knock on a tent, but you know what I mean. Like you could announce yourself or something. So clearly there's like a thing between her and Derek, and he acknowledges it later, and he's like, this thing that we're doing. And so it's pretty like go with the flow, but clearly she feels like they're together, like they're more committed than they actually are. So she interrupts their kiss like a hoe, and then Kate gets mad, and she leaves the tent, and she says that it's a busy place. Bro, that is a big accusation to make.
Savage.
Like, you don't even know this guy. You've met him like a couple weeks ago. Like, you don't even know him or his life or his, I don't know, like sleeping around habits, if he has any. You're just like assuming that just because this girl like walks into his tent, they're together, or like that he's a playa or something. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, let's calm down. At this point, we're nearly halfway through the movie.
But you know what happens around halfway through the movie?
What?
Cue the jingle bells.
Ah!
It's Christmas time,
It's
finally.
Christmas time! So they finally bring in a dose of Christmas. And how they do this, oh my gosh, this is really funny. They bring in a single Christmas tree and play like 30 seconds of Christmas music.
Yeah, it's like, there's a Christmas song playing, there's somebody carrying a Christmas tree into like this building that they have on this rescue or whatever, and that's about it. And they do have like they have like Christmas dinner,
or something like that.
It's probably like a good 4-minute scene that's Christmassy.
I mean, I guess that's probably true, but like still, it still doesn't really fit. And they reveal that she's been there for 3 months. So as she's settling in, like, she got like an espresso maker, like all sorts of stuff. Like, she's settled in. She's like happy there. So I love how they have to walk around together, and he always like warns her how it's not safe out there because of like the baboons, and they've got that watchtower for the
Wasn't there a part where he's like, it's not safe out here, and doesn't she ask why, or like something, and it's like very vague, like why it's not safe, or no, he says it's not safe out here. I mean, it's safe, but it's not.
Yeah, it was really confusing.
Yeah, you're like, if I were her, I'd be like, what
the fuck does that mean?
Yeah, like, am I gonna get kidnapped? Like, is a lion gonna eat me? Or
like, am I gonna get murdered in my tent? Like, and he just never explains it.
He's like, you're safe, but it's not safe. It's fine. We're not gonna talk about it.
He never explains it. And then so there is the drama that's in this movie is that she wakes up in the middle of the night, and they find that the elephant that they rescued has gone missing. So like somebody left the gate open, whatever. So they take the car out in the middle of the night and to look for this elephant. And then Derek just stops in the middle of the wilderness to sleep in this open Jeep. Like, after saying, like, how unsafe it is, and, like, there's, like, baboons and, like, lions and stuff like that, like, somehow they like, he's just like, oh, we're just gonna stop here in the middle of nowhere and just take a nap.
Yeah, no, the camp is not safe with the guard towers and the lights and the sounds and everything. That's not safe, but we're gonna be in the middle of nowhere in the complete pitch blackness, and we're just gonna sleep here in our open... Yeah, it's...
And they both just go to sleep. And it's like, y'all finna get eaten by a lion.
Yeah.
They didn't, though. They were awoken.
No, that's how the movie should have ended. It should have been like, all right, we're going to sleep, and then you just hear rawr, and then the credits just roll fast.
Hear rawr. But like the lion is like, after the lion goes rawr, and then like it goes to the credits. The credits are a Christmas song, so that we can incorporate Christmas.
It's Mariah Carey's "All I Want for Christmas Is You."
Oh,
but it's the fast part where it gets gets a beat.
That's a really good ending. They really should have considered that. Missed opportunity. But they were awoken. What actually happened in the movie is they were awoken by an older elephant that the rescue cared for previously. Like this older giant elephant just like happened across them and was like, "Oh hey, I know that guy." Even though like he totally had his hat over his face.
Do elephants have a good sense of smell? Maybe do they
really
recognize that? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know anything about elephants.
They have the huge trunk. You'd think that would help them smell. I don't.
That's a good point.
I don't know elephant anatomy.
But like he hits the car to wake them up. Like I mean, he could have just tapped them on the shoulder with his trunk, but you know he's got to like bump the car.
Hey, wake up!
Yeah, and like I had like flashbacks to Jurassic Park. Like, what if it had been a dinosaur that had woken them up?
Again, that's another. That should have been another ending where a dinosaur gets them, and then the credits roll fast.
Yeah, all of a sudden it's like Jurassic Park. All of a sudden it's like Jurassic Park, and like a T-Rex is like nudging the car, and they're all like screaming, and then it goes to Christmas music and credits.
And Jeff Goldblum pops
up.
Oh my God! And he says, "Life finds a way."
So during this Christmas break, her son actually surprises her by coming to Africa to visit her. I don't know how like they ended up working all this out, or like how he like knew exactly where to find her, but he says he gets out of the plane and he says, "I just wanted to make sure that you were wearing a sweater." Like that was like his excuse for like coming to see her. Like, I had to make sure you were wearing a sweater, Mom.
It was supposed to be a cute little line, but I didn't.
But like they were FaceTiming all the time.
So when the kid's visiting, he, they're talking about the parents' divorce, and he's like so chill about it. And
yeah, I'm pretty sure he hates his dad.
Yeah, he seems like he doesn't like his dad. He's like, yeah, I saw this coming. Like, yeah.
He's like, I'm surprised it didn't happen years ago.
Yeah, I mean, granted, he's 18, I guess, at the time. He's older, usually like in movies when there's like a divorce, the kids are always younger and it's always hard and stuff, but he's out of the house, he's fine, he has a kind of a grasp on reality, I guess. And
they must have paid for a really good therapist for him.
I guess he seems pretty well adjusted, except for the fact
he does.
Yeah, like I mean, except for the fact that he's gonna drop out of college to become I'm gonna assume just like a DJ or something.
I don't know. He said he wants to make music.
Yeah, no, he's just gonna be a DJ.
Okay. So there's 30 minutes left in this movie, by the way, and this is the last time we see or hear anything about Christmas. Like, it's just been Christmas Eve, it's just been Christmas Day. Kate has decided she's gonna go back to New York to live her life. And this is the very last time that we see anything about Christmas or hear anything about Christmas. There's nothing more after this point, and it's been an hour in the movie.
Yeah,
maybe about 4 minutes of discussion about Christmas.
Well, my theory is, I have many theories.
Yeah.
I'm a scientist.
Give it to us.
So the movie's called Holiday in the Wild, but we don't specify which holiday. So, she was there during Halloween.
Don't go there.
She was there during Thanksgiving. She was there during Labor Day. I think. She might have gone right after, but yeah, she was there for holidays.
They didn't say holidays in the wild.
She was there for all of them.
They said holiday. As in one holiday, as in the Christmas holiday.
Yeah.
That they talked about for, I don't know, 5.5 minutes.
They should have renamed the movie like Elephant Love Story with a little bit of Christmas right there in the middle.
Is that the title?
That's the whole title.
The title of the movie. So the night before Kate is going to go back to New York City to live her life, her and Derek hook up. Of course, we just see them kiss because in all of these cheesy holiday movies, sex is just like not a thing.
Yeah, the stork brings babies.
Yeah, the stork brings babies, and like the most they do is like hold hands and kiss and shit. So we just see them kiss, but we know better.
Well, it's the classic like movie without a sex scene sort of deal where it's like they start kissing and then they go out of focus and the camera zooms away and it like slowly fades out.
Yeah, and or it pans away to the sky, I think is what happened in this one, right?
Yeah, it was something like that.
Yeah, they panned away to the nice sky and then, we were like, oh, they fucking.
just aggressively holding hands.
Aggressive. How do you aggressively hold it? Just show me right now.
Yeah.
How do you aggressively? Ow!
Sorry.
Ow!
Sorry.
Oh my god! You just tried to break my hand.
You asked me to aggressively hold your hand.
Okay, I asked you to aggressively hold it, not like wring it to death.
Sorry.
It's fine.
My
okay.
bad.
Clearly, like we're not romantic, like they are in the movie. So, so then this hoe comes back. The South African hoe comes back, and she's like mad, and Derek is like, hey, whatever we're doing here, like we've got to stop. And then she's like, then this fucking bitch, she straight goes, well then I must regretfully inform you that the foundation is pulling their funds for this. Like,
Yeah.
what?
Well,
like, can you legally do that?
Well, what set her off in the first place was Derek had a painting of Kate that he was working on.
That's right. That's right. And she's like, I thought you only painted animals.
And he's
right?
like,
Isn't that what it is?
and he's like, she is an animal in bed.
I mean, humans are animals. Which he does say earlier in the movie that that humans are the most dangerous animals.
Oh, and it's like the cheesiest thing. Like,
Yeah.
like I forget how he says it. It's something like, we're not, or they're. Oh yeah, he's talking about their buffalo or something, and he's like, they're not the most dangerous ones out here, and she's like, who is? And then he like looks over at her, kind of pauses for a second, and goes, we are.
It was so dramatic. It was so dramatic.
It was amazing.
I kind of wish that he would have hit her with like the, literally, we are.
I wish he was. They just should remake the movie, and he should just be Chris Traeger.
I just feel Rob Lowe must be like that. I mean, I know that he has a podcast called Literally, and I assume that it's pronounced that way. But like every movie, like that is like his token thing now. Like everybody is just like, oh, Rob Lowe, literally.
Yeah.
And then but like every movie that he's in, like I bet people like us, stupid assholes like us, are like,
yeah. It's funny because he's
every movie we watch with him in it.
He's been in so many things over
I
the
know.
last 30 something years or whatever, and it's just
Yeah, I
funny
know.
that like that's the character that
The
so
one
many
thing
people
that sticks.
are really clinging on to.
So yeah, this crazy bitch is like, all right, well then I guess we're pulling your funding, which first of all, I don't think that's actually legal. And she goes, he's like, come on, like this isn't about us here. This is about the elephants. And she goes in with this classy line, it's not about the elephants for me.
Ooh.
And it's like, well, damn, what the fuck is you there for then?
She was there for one reason. It was shirtless Rob Lowe.
Dick. Like, she literally doesn't care about saving the animals. She just cares about the dick that she gets.
Yeah. She just cares about that pants tent.
I still don't think that's legal, but okay. So anyway, so Kate ends up going home, tries to go back to living her life, her kind of hoity-toity NYC life. She becomes a practicing vet again. And it's at this time in the movie when Derek changes the name of his plane from Kirk to Kate. And he's missing her. And, like, now that the holidays are over, talking about the son going back to school, and she encourages her son to get a music degree so that he stays in college but is still following his dreams. The ex-husband does not like this. Like, he's like, I don't know. I don't really like that. But, like, we don't really care what he thinks because, like, fuck that guy. So then, basically, the whole thing concludes super fast, as it does in all these kinds of movies. She's doing her veterinary work one day at the practice that she's joined, and she just realizes, like, it just hits her like a fucking brick to the face that it's just really not for her. Like, she's supposed to go back to Africa. Like, Africa's where she's supposed to be. So she goes back. Her and Derek reunite. They get married. And to wrap this all up in a pretty little bow, the elephant that they saved together was ready to go back into the wild at that point. And so they send their little baby elephant that they shared together off into the wild. And the end. They live happily ever after. That's the movie. Those are all the funny things that we, like, that just really piqued our interest, and we were just like, what?
Yeah, and as far as like the cheesy holiday movies, like it definitely has its like, you know, cheese ball moments, but not quite the same way as a lot of these types of movies do.
Yeah, it was actually like much more like serious. I mean, I don't want to say that. Like, I don't want to say that because like there's usually something in all of these movies that they're saving. Like, it's usually, I guess it's just not, in some movies it's just like a little bit more goofy. Yeah. Well, that's this movie. That's all that we have to say about this movie. Which was a lot, actually.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the ratings for this movie. Ratings are always kind of fun to look at.
Yes, definitely. Rotten Tomatoes gave this movie 38%.
Wow. The Guardian gave it a 3 out of 5 star rating.
Someone did write a sarcastic article about this movie in Vogue magazine. We definitely need to check that out.
We've not seen that. That seems like it would be interesting. As for our own ratings, I would have to say for a holiday movie, 10 out of 75 lumps of coal.
I'm going to go ahead and give this movie, on the holiday scale, 2 out of 10 elephant trunks.
Elephant trunks. But definitely like 50 out of 75 candy canes for conservation and welfare of elephants.
Definitely, definitely.
I feel like that was pretty cool.
All right, now for some fun facts and trivia about the movie. The movie was originally called Christmas in the Wild.
Cool. They changed it to holiday. All right. Kristen Davis's son in the movie is played by John Owen Lowe, who is Rob Lowe's real-life son. This is the first movie that Rob and his son John have collaborated on together. That makes no sense. Collaborated on together. No shit.
So there's a little goof in the movie. The New Year's Eve scene shows that the new year is 2020, but later when her friends and ex-husband are writing those checks to the elephant sanctuary, they're all dated February and March of 2019.
Whoops.
Also, they clearly have no idea what 2020 has in store for them. Coronavirus.
Coronavirus! Shit is real!
Thanks, Cardi B.
Just a little cameo appearance is all. In the movie, Rob Lowe's character Derek references one of Santa's reindeer as Blixen instead of Blitzen. Kate corrects him and says it's supposed to be Blitzen, but Blixen is actually a reference to Karen Blixen, a Danish writer that wrote Out of Africa and has done a lot of great things for wildlife, specifically in Kenya. So that's
pretty cool.
Yeah, nice little homage.
So Netflix pitched the idea to Kristen Davis for the movie after seeing her work with elephants that she's done. In real life, Kristen Davis has worked with orphan elephants in rescue and rehabilitation. She has brought attention to conservation issues like illegal ivory trade. She produced a documentary called Gardeners of Eden in 2014 that talks about the ivory trade and how it affects the extinction of elephants.
Wow. That's really great.
Cool.
We're over here making fun of this movie, and it's actually, like, got backgrounds and good things for elephants.
See, that's the thing. Like, the first time we watched it, I was like, this is so dumb. The second time we watched it, I was like, this is still so dumb. But then we did all this research, and we're like, okay, like, this is actually cool. Like,
this definitely ups the bonus, the cool bonus points for the movie.
It doesn't help the whole lack of holiday in it. But,
that's true.
But, like, it's for a good cause.
Somewhat redeemed. Okay. The elephant scenes were filmed at a sanctuary in South Africa and also at an elephant orphanage in Zambia.
The story seems to be somewhat based on a real-life story about a baby elephant that experienced the same physical and emotional trauma when losing her mother and herd. They pay homage to this elephant by referencing one of the elephants in the movie, naming that elephant I don't even know how to pronounce it.
I think it's Makaliva.
Maybe.
She says it in the movie, and I just don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know. We need a fact check on the...
on how to pronounce the name of the elephant. But they did name one of the other baby elephants that name, Makalava, I think is what it is. And we, of course, didn't catch that until we were looking at the facts. So that's really interesting. A lot of effort and systems went into place to safeguard the elephants in the film. Kristen Davis really wanted to make sure that everything was ethical and the elephants were treated well and were safe. So the measures that were put in place included behavior study, personnel and distance restrictions, and international animal welfare inspection. So all of this took about 4 years before the film was actually made. I actually had the thought the first time that we watched it, that I was like, oh, these elephants must have been trained. And I was a little concerned watching it because, you know, the connotation that comes with training animals is, was it safe for them? And, you know, were they healthy? Were they treated well? And so after learning that they weren't, like, that these elephants weren't trained, that they came to do all of this through those measures, is really cool.
Yeah, and the fact that it took about 4 years to do all this before the film was made is crazy, and I feel bad, again, because we're over here making fun of the movie, and, like, they put in all this hard work and effort to get it out there. We suck.
Major credit. Yes, we did make fun of the movie a lot of it, but major credit to this. That's super cool of Kristen Davis, super cool of Netflix, everyone involved. That's really neat stuff.
And then one last fact, according to the last part of the movie, wild elephant population has plummeted by 62% in the last decade. There are conservation efforts to change this, so please check them out. Support conservation of endangered animals. Super important.
Yep. Save our animals. Save our animals, save the earth.
Thank you so much for joining us today for our first ever episode of the Hokey Holiday Review. Please check us out on our social media. Our Facebook page is the Hokey Holiday Review. Our Instagram is also the Hokey Holiday Review. You can follow us on Twitter at Hokey Holiday or send us an email at thehokeyholidayreview@gmail.com.
We'd love to hear from you guys. We hope to hear from you. Thank you again. And don't forget, Santa is watching, so don't be an asshole. Bye.